What's going on, everyone? Hunter and Sherb from Misfit Athletics here today to give you some tips on how to increase your speed when you're handstand walking. Now, when folks are first learning to handstand walk, we like to teach people to stay nice and upright, keeping their feet and knees together, their hands pointed forward, and this facilitates them kind of learning how to feel where their body is in space. They kind of gain that body awareness. Once we become more proficient, the desire and need to speed up our handstand walking becomes apparent. So the two ways that we can, or kind of the one overarching theme for this, is understanding that handstand walking quickly requires forward momentum. So when we're nice and upright, which we're going to have Sherb demo here in a second, that's great for understanding body awareness, but because he is so vertical, he doesn't have very much of his body mass dragging him forward, kind of carrying his momentum forward, so he's only able to go so fast. So when Sherb kicks up here, we're going to see he's going to walk at kind of his normal speed, but yeah, go ahead, give it a shot. So he's got those fingers kind of pointed forward, his feet are a little bit more straight up. He's able to successfully handstand walk, but it's not particularly fast. Once the proficiency of handstand walking is developed, then we can start to add the speed. So the momentum concept. One thing you'll see a lot of high-level athletes do is get a little bit of knee bend. And there's a cost benefit to this. Some folks will end up finding some tightness in their low back, especially if the workout incorporates other movements that might be low back intensive. But we're looking for speed in the handstand walk. So tip number one is getting a little bit of a knee bend. And again, that means that more of your body mass is actually pulling you forward so that you can facilitate moving faster on your hands. The second thing has to do with the arms. When we're first learning, again, fingers forward might provide a little bit more balance, but as we start to desire kind of more speed, we want to turn the hands out a little bit, which is going to facilitate an easier time flexing at the elbow and the shoulder, and puts a little bit less strain on the wrist so that you all can move consistently forward at a higher rate. So on this one, Sherb, we're focusing on if you can do both, knees bent and kind of pivoting those hands out to move a little bit quicker. Okay, so quite a bit more speed there. Again, bending the knees facilitates that kind of more of your body mass or your center of gravity getting pulled in that forward direction. And then the elbow thing, if we're bending at the knees, creating that forward momentum, our upper body needs to keep up. So we bend the elbows a little bit to facilitate faster and kind of a more looseness in the upper body. Now, how do we put this into place, or how do we practice this? One of the best ways that we can practice this is what we call kind of like the running start. So part of the momentum equation is that Sherb needs to actually kick up with some forward force, maybe a little bit more than he might, in a workout. So what he's going to do is kick up, maybe even take a step into that kick up so that he has forward momentum, and he's almost going to create kind of an overspeed training drill for himself, just walking 5 to 10 feet. But he's going to really aggressively kick so that he gets the feel for like, wow, I need to move my hands quicker to start to develop that proficiency. Good, do one more coming back, see if you can go get that speed right from the start. Yeah, sweet. When we're trying to develop speed in our handstand walk, we need to remember that the key kind of overarching principle is getting and maintaining that forward momentum. How do we do that? Well, from a body positioning perspective, the knees are a little bit more bent, and when we're walking, we might turn the hands out a little bit and walk so that, because our elbows and our shoulders are in a more flexible position, so to speak. And the way that we can execute and practice this is just by doing multiple kind of fast starts or overspeed starts. So give yourself a couple steps, kick up maybe a little bit harder than you might otherwise to get your upper body comfortable with having to take those slightly quicker steps to keep that forward momentum maintained. Give it a shot. We'll see you in the next one.